All right, let's talk about alopecia areata. Alopecia areata is very distinctive in the way that it looks, and the stories are almost all the same. You go to sleep, you wake up, and you have a circular patch where there is hair that's typically missing. It can start off with one circular patch here, and then next thing you know, you have another one and another one and another one. Or in some cases, it can start in the back area where you'll have these huge circular patches where you don't have hair. And then there's different forms of alopecia areata, which is called alopecia totalis, where you completely lose all of your hair. Alopecia areata is an autoimmune condition where the immune system mistakenly attacks the hair follicles and you start to lose your hair. Now, how does something like this happen? I've seen cases where we have run a host of labs to see what's going on beyond the typical looking at your red blood cells, looking at just your TSH level, which is associated with thyroid. When I do these urine tests, we see in cases where clients have parasites, we see a lot of gut issues, areas where the immune system is elevated and it is also attacking the follicle. We've seen in cases where clients have had hair and they have gone and taken certain shots and all of a sudden it triggered an alopecia areata flare up. I've seen cases where young kids have also had beautiful long hair and then all of a sudden they were taking a shot and then it triggered an alopecia areata response. So what are some of the things that we do when we see these cases? We go above and beyond because in traditional medicine, they have standard protocols that they follow, and maybe it's due to insurance purposes as far as how far they can go as far as testing. So I want to look at a full picture and I want to see what's happening. Especially with my younger clients, I'm noticing that there is a rise with alopecia areata. I'm seeing young kids that have high insulin levels. Good insulin level should be between a 2.5 to a 5. Elevation 25 for a kid, that's extremely high. High A1C, which is an indication of being diabetic. I'm also seeing low ferritin levels, low thyroid levels, nutrient deficiencies, and a host of gut issues. So this tells me that in this day and age, we are being exposed to so many different toxins to where it is having an effect on the immune system. And when the immune system goes into overdrive, this is what happens. It starts to attack the follicles. Now, we have had great success where we were able to revitalize these clients, especially our young clients, and get their hair to start back growing because the parents, when they come in with their children, they're concerned. So they're going to take the protocol very serious. Some of the things that we do after we've done these extensive testing and we figure out like what's going on, we're going to take an approach to see, okay, what is the first step that we're going to do? Are we going to work on the gut? Are we going to work on parasites? Now, I see this a lot, especially with kids that are in school. Their parasite markers are extremely elevated. And then we're going to make sure that they're eating right. When you are experiencing alopecia areata where you are a kid or an adult, you want to make sure that you change your diet. You want to stay away from foods that is going to be acid-based, causing more inflammation in the body. So when you go to a nutritionist, they say, oh, okay, be on a high protein diet. If you have alopecia areata, you don't want to consume a lot of meat because that's acid based. What is that going to do? Cause more inflammation. It will not fix the issue. You guys are going to hear me talk more and more a lot about eating fruits because fruits can be very beneficial and give you a lot of nutrients, and it helps to fight free radicals, which is scavengers in the body, to help get your immune system and get your body into a state where it can start to heal itself. There's different herbs that we use. There's different types of modalities that we use in these cases, such as different color lights. There's different supplementation. Like I said, there's a food guide, and each case is going to be unique and different. So we don't handle every alopecia areata case the same. One of our biggest alopecia areata cases, and I can actually tell you too, I'm going to give you an example of a male and a female. Our female client had alopecia areata. She came in, she had been to many different doctors and they were unable to figure out why she was losing her hair. And she had just had a baby. The baby wasn't the issue as far as what was triggering the alopecia areata. But what I did notice is that her thyroid levels and her thyroid markers was not within normal range. The thyroid markers were very elevated with a lot of high antibodies and there was a lot of hormonal imbalances or the lack of certain hormones that could actually help with inflammation. So I customized a protocol to help with focusing on the thyroid, and then I put her on a natural progesterone cream because I knew it would help with inflammation, and progesterone can be very beneficial for the hair. And with her, she was coming in for treatments along with the diet change, and slowly but surely when we were doing these treatments, her hair slowly started to come back and she was able to recover all of her hair. Now that was a really great success story. She started feeling good, which was important. So we actually helped her with her health concerns that was not addressed. And we also help her to grow her hair back. Now that's a full, I would say, functional approach to hair loss. My male client had a very young male client that came in, and the mother said that she had took him to the best doctor in Miami to help with the alopecia areata case. Again, I did the type of labs that I typically do. I like to look at blood labs, but I also like to look at urine tests because it's going to give me two different things that I'm looking for. In this particular case, I did see where this gentleman was nutrient deficient. There was a lot of important minerals that he needed to support a healthy hair growth cycle. So even for cognitive function, adrenal gland function. But one thing that stood out was there was a high case of parasites. As soon as I put him on that parasite cleanse, within 3 months, along with the treatment that we were doing on the scalp, we started to see his hair revitalize, and he actually had a full head of hair. Now, in these cases, again, we were able to do two things. We were able to help this client revitalize his hair, but also we were able to help with the health conditions. And so this is what I like to tell people about us, is that we just operate different. The approach and the mindset behind alopecia areata, as well as other cases, is always going to be different. We're always going to look at and see what the body needs, what's happening, what we need to take away as far as from a detoxification process, what we need to put in, and then the right type of treatment. Alopecia areata can take time, so there is no definitive time that I can say, oh, within 3 months, within 6 months, because it's a case-by-case situation. Right now, we're getting great success with our young clients. For some reason, there is a rise in young kids that's having alopecia areata. But what I can say is this is something that you really don't want to play with. You don't want to be on social media looking at different serums. You don't want to be putting onion juice on your scalp. You want to seek help from a professional, because I can guarantee you with alopecia areata, there is something that's happening inside the body, whether it's genetic, whether it's the immune system, gut health, thyroid, but there is something that's going on. And if it gets to the point to where you lose all of your hair, if it's too late, then there's nothing that we can do to revitalize your hair. A lot of the JAK inhibitors that's out there and they're testing on these kids, you know, they come with a lot of side effects. And these traditional doctors, they offer a lot of promises as far as they can guarantee you that their hair can grow back. And that sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it can really stunt the follicles and you don't receive any hair growth. So if you like this video, guys, please like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.